There's an entirely new set of health months appearing on the calendar, including Dry January, Sober Spring, Dry July, and even Sober September. I'm registered dietitian Annette Maggi, and I'm here today to talk about the trend that's occurring across the nation and with multiple generations. It's the sober curious generation and movement. Might wonder, how did this movement start? It actually started as a challenge beginning in January several years ago, where Gen Xers, millennials, Gen Zs were, feeling hungover and not their best after partying on New Year's Eve. And so they started a challenge to say, let's do Dry January and prove that we can, go without booze for a month. It's important to understand that this movement is very different than those who are abstaining from alcohol because of addiction issues. This is really about feeling better in general. So when we think about the reasons why people are sober curious, health and wellness is actually a key one. People want to lose weight and they know that abstaining from alcohol can sometimes help with that. It's about finances, it's about relationships. There was actually a small study done in Britain of just 850 men and women who did Dry January. So the entire month they abstained from alcohol by choice. 82% of those in the study indicated that they had a better sense of achievement. 62% said they slept better. 49% said they had weight loss. So there's a lot of reasons, many of them, not necessarily concrete and tangible. I've even seen information from people who have, done Dry January or Sober Spring, who talk about that it's the grown-up thing to do, that they want the challenge of seeing what life is like without alcohol. They also want to make sure they're performing at their best at work. One of the things that we talk about a lot, and we all know, is the impact of social media on those who have grown up in the generation where, entire lives are posted on Facebook and Instagram. And there are some people who talk about that they're actually seeking control given all of that social media surveillance, that they want to really be in control, and that being sober curious and attacking kind of Sober September, Dry July, Dry January helps them to accomplish that. How do we know that the sober curious movement is trending? Well, there's a lot of signals in social media and traditional media as well. Sober Girl Society is an Instagram handle that has 103,000 followers. And the owner of this site, Millie Gooch, has a book coming out in January of 2021 titled The Sober Girl Society Handbook, an empowering guide to living hangover-free. Ruby Warrington is another person who's very active in this space. Her book is titled Sober Curious, The Blissful Sleep, Laser Focus, Limitless Presence, and Deep Connections Awaiting Us All on the Other Side of Alcohol. It's very clear just from this title of what the benefits people who, are more sober curious are seeing in this lifestyle. Sober Nation, another Instagram handle, has 41,000 followers. Interestingly, too, the hashtag Sober Curious has a 78% positivity association and actually is used 38 times in an hour. From 2018 to 2019, we saw an increase of 387% in posts related to hashtag Sober Curious. Of course, when celebrities get involved in something, it's trending. There are many different celebrities who are actually endorsing and living the lifestyle of sober curious or sober social, whichever way you prefer to call it. These include Miley Cyrus, Blake Lively, and even Kim Kardashian. We've also seen some bars across the country that are opening that are essentially dry bars. One called Sands Bar in Austin, Texas, is an example where they offer a 100% dry experience. We do know that the sober curious movement seems to be led by millennials and Gen Z. There's actually a 2018 Berenberg research report that found that respondents in their in their teens and early 20s were drinking over 20% less per capita than millennials who drank less than baby boomers and Gen Xers at the same age. So the idea behind this is that, part of our drinking habits are driven against our age and our lifestyle at that exact time. So Gen Z is drinking less at their current age than other generations did at the exact same age. The question remains of how will that follow into their further adulthood, into their 30s and 40s, and as they age. We do know, and there's been many reports about increased drinking during the coronavirus pandemic, but when we think about sober social, sober curious, we're really talking about the long-term nature of this trend. And it's really an intentional movement that these people aren't completely abstaining necessarily, but they're just saying, I'm going to be very intentional about when I choose to drink alcohol and how I choose it. Whether it's avoiding it during weeknights so I can be at my best during a workday, or holding it really for special occasions so that it feels like something that is indeed special. So what should retail dietitians be doing, or any registered dietitian can be doing during this sober, conscious movement and to reach this particular individual, whether it's a client, a patient, or someone you interact with in social media or traditional media? One thing that's become very popular and that registered dietitians can easily take advantage of is offering classes, messaging, and demos about mocktails. So this has become very popular. So this is that idea that the sober curious generation might still want a festive drink, whether it's on a holiday or celebrating a friend's birthday, but they don't want it to include alcohol. The opportunity for retail dietitians is to say, how do I use functional ingredients? How do I promote nutrient-dense foods in those mocktails? Kind of really driving against the sober curious movement and the idea that health and wellness is strongly embedded in the movement. Another idea is to host virtual kind of pre-happy hour events, where during those times you can show how to make healthier appetizers along with healthy mocktails so that a person can have them all ready to go when they have people over, say, for example, at 6:00 p.m. So maybe you hold a class at 4, knowing they have people coming over. In advance, you can have them sign up, buy the ingredients, but you're there kind of giving them that instruction in a virtual environment. So all the party prep is ready to go right when their guests arrives. A third opportunity for registered dietitians is to educate consumers on better choices within the category. So when they choose to consume alcohol, are they making the best choices? There are some, as we know, that offer health benefits. And so how do we try and direct them to those options that provide more health benefits? Fourth, there are many registered dietitians who are amazing at recipe development. And there's a huge opportunity to really extend that skill set into beverages. We're seeing a lot of chefs and bartenders who are doing this today, but registered dietitians have that skill set as well. But it's a great idea to create some nutrient-dense mocktails, again, driving against health and wellness or weight loss or finances, all of those different opportunities. If you're a registered dietitian whose role is in the food service arena, whether that's in conference planning or event planning or catering, or even college food service, right? You might be able to consider some opportunities to offer mocktails at these particular events to reach that consumer who wants that kind of what we'll call no vote, or they're just choosing that particular day or at this particular event to be sober curious or alcohol free. We see this trend as a trend, something that's going to extend for several years. It isn't a fad. So there are many opportunities where retail dietitians can work with their clients and consumers and really make a difference in helping the sober curious generation achieve their health and wellness goals. Thank you.